On this episode of Storytime with Surly, it's actually Sunday morning and I'm moving some cars around. But anyway, so back in March or April of 2020, I made a deal with my dad for a 1985 Honda Magna and an F-150, which is my F-150 I use now, and the Magna is still in my garage now. And to take possession of it, well, of both of them at the same time. Ideally, it would have been silly to, backtrack. So what I did was I loaded up on my 2002 VFR and I straight shot rode 21 hours and some change straight, no breaks, just fuel, bathroom, sip of Gatorade or water, back on the bike. That's about 1,330 miles from my grandmother's driveway, where I left from, to my dad's driveway. So 1,300 miles, 21 hours, and I want to say it was like 39 minutes is what I recorded everything at. And along the way, the weather changed a handful of times. I was coming through Georgia, and the bottom decided to drop out, which wasn't a big deal. I've ridden in the rain before. But being it's springtime, I never thought, because I'm in Texas, hey, you might want to pack some cold weather clothes for when the sun goes down. So I leave about 2 a.m. from Orange, Texas. I'm on the road. I make it into North Carolina, and I can't remember the exact date, but it was right after Bike Week, so I'd have to backtrack and look at the date. So it's probably 11 p.m. I pull into this nice little service station, fill the bike up, and there were some guys that were obviously towing some bikes, because, they had a big Harley-Davidson branded trailer and everything like that. And the guy comes over and he's like, "Texas, wow, are you riding from Daytona back to somewhere?" I said, "Nah, I've been on the road for since 2 a.m. Central Time, riding straight from Texas, and I'm headed to Virginia. I only got about an hour or so left." And this guy looks at me and he goes, "You mean you rode long distance like that in one shot?" I said, "Yes, sir. Where are y'all coming from?" "Oh, we just finished up at Bike Week, and we trailered our stuff down." He goes, I feel kind of silly now riding in a truck from north central Florida to southern New Jersey or northern Maryland or wherever he was going." He goes, "I feel kind of silly now because that's not nearly the ride that you're taking." And I say that is because I had thought a few times about entering like an iron butt competition, and my motorcycle folks will know what that is. Anybody else, go Google it. Where you do some psychotic stuff like go 1,000 miles in 20 hours, that kind of nonsense. But at the same time, I didn't do it for an award. I did it to get somewhere. So a few of the things that happened, a rainstorm, and then after, I almost got ran off the road. That was interesting. Right at about sunup somewhere in Mississippi, I was pulling back on the interstate, and the lady wasn't paying attention and switched lanes as I'm in the acceleration lane merging onto the interstate. That was interesting. And then after the conversation in North Carolina, as soon as I crossed this river basin, the temperature dropped like 25 degrees, and I was shivering the whole rest of the ride. And I say the whole rest of the ride, it was an hour and some change, but that hour and some change left a mark. Well, my dad lives out in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and coming through the area he lives in is very rural. Well, 18-wheeler almost ran me off the road. That was also interesting. Guy felt pretty bad about that. I had to ride off in the grass for a second. And no sooner did I get past the 18-wheeler, who the guy apologized. You know, sorry about that. I didn't see you. No problem. I understand. No sooner did all that happen that this small herd of deer jumps out in front of me, and I'm like 2 miles from my dad's house. This little small herd of deer jump out in front of me. It made that even more interesting. But I also, on this trip, I get to the house, and like two brand new things happened to me that's never happened to me before. One, I got to park my motorcycle inside my dad's garage, which has never happened. And you're not allowed in my father's garage, whether you're kinfolk, brother, or relative. It don't matter. Don't touch anything in the garage. I got to park inside the garage, the one attached to the house. And then I found out what land sickness was. I didn't know this was a thing. So I get inside and I lay down in the bed, and I still feel like I'm moving at 75 miles an hour. And the room's spinning and everything's buzzing. And I get maybe, this is probably 2 a.m. his time when I finally settle down. So it's 1 a.m. Central Time. So I'm just a shade under 24 hours awake and almost 22 hours on the road. And I get about 6 hours of sleep, and the next morning I get up and I feel like I've been hit by a truck. So iron butt competitions, land sickness is a thing, and I got to ride my motorcycle into my father's garage and park it there overnight. I mean, that's a pretty cool story. So on the return trip, I took the F-150. I put the Magna in the back, the VFR in the back, set the cruise control at 60, 65 miles an hour, and just Cadillac'd onto the house. And at least twice along the way, I had a young lady and an older gentleman stop me to ask if they could buy the Magna. Nope. After everything I just went through for this thing, nope, it's not for sale. So, I appreciate you guys watching and listening to the stories. This is story time with Surly. Surly Sunday night story time. I'm trying to get into my driveway with this trailer without killing anything. So, y'all stay tuned, pay attention. Question, comment, concern, like, subscribe. You got a comment about anything, hit the comments below. I'd appreciate it. I don't mind talking to folks, even people that are going to make fun of me for recording while driving, but I'm not holding this. This is in my cell phone holder that I kind of have it zoomed in on my face a little bit. Thank you guys. Surly Mechanics. We'll see you later.